The galactic stage. The vast expanse of space had never seemed so small. Admiral Zorax of the Galactic Coalition stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Celestial Hammer, his 4 eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. Red dots swarmed across the map, each representing a world lost to the enemy. With every passing cycle, the dots grew more numerous, creeping ever closer to the heart of Coalition space. "How many more worlds have we lost?" Zorax asked, his voice a low rumble that seemed to vibrate through the ship's hull. His second-in-command, a life Vexari named Lumi, consulted her datapad. Her bioluminescent skin pulsed with anxiety as she delivered the report. "3 more systems have fallen in the last rotation, Admiral. The Neurax swarm's advance shows no signs of slowing." Zorax's tentacles writhed in frustration. The Galactic Coalition, an alliance of the most advanced species in the known universe, had stood strong for millennia. They had weathered wars, natural disasters, and even the occasional reality-bending anomaly. But nothing had prepared them for the Neurax swarm. The swarm had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, emerging from the depths of uncharted space. They were a hive mind of incomprehensible scale, consuming entire planets and assimilating their populations into their ever-growing collective. The Coalition's mighty fleets, once the pride of the galaxy, now seemed little more than toys before the swarm's onslaught. "We need a miracle," Luna whispered, her words echoing the sentiment of every being in Coalition space. As if in answer to her plea, a junior communications officer suddenly perked up. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Outer Rim. It's from an uncharted system." Zorax frowned. "Put it through." The holographic display flickered, and a new image appeared. It showed a bipedal creature, its skin a pale pink, with fur atop its head and oddly expressive features. Zorax had never seen anything quite like it. "Greetings, Galactic Coalition," the creature spoke, its words translated by the ship's advanced linguistics systems. "I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Alliance. We couldn't help but notice you seem to be having some trouble out here." For a moment, silence reigned on the bridge of the Celestial Hammer. Then Zorax found his voice. You're aware of our conflict with the swarm." The human's lips curled upward in what Zorax would later learn was called a smile. "We've been watching for a while now. Figured it was about time we introduced ourselves and offered a helping hand." Lumi leaned in close to Zorax, her voice a worried whisper. "Admiral, we've never encountered this species before. We know nothing about them or their capabilities." Zorax nodded, but desperation clouded his judgment. Any help, no matter how small or unknown, was better than nothing at this point. "Captain Rodriguez," he said, his voice carrying the weight of a civilization on the brink. "I am Admiral Zorax of the Galactic Coalition. Your offer of assistance is unexpected, but not unwelcome. What exactly are you proposing?" Elena's smile widened. "Well, Admiral, we humans have a bit of experience when it comes to fighting against overwhelming odds. We'd like to share that experience with you, if you're willing to listen." Over the next few hours, Zorax and his staff listened in growing amazement as Elena outlined humanity's history of warfare. The humans, it seemed, had spent much of their existence fighting amongst themselves. While the Coalition saw this as barbaric, Elena argued that it had forged humanity into a race of survivors and innovators. "We faced extinction-level threats before," Elena explained. "Granted, none quite on the scale of your swarm, but the principles remain the same. Asymmetric warfare, guerrilla tactics, psychological operations, these are all tools we've honed over centuries of conflict." Zorax found himself both intrigued and disturbed. The strategies Elena described seemed almost primitive compared to the Coalition's advanced weaponry and tactics. And yet, there was a certain elegance to their simplicity, adaptability that the rigid military doctrine of the Coalition lacked. "And you believe these unconventional methods could be effective against a swarm?" Zorax asked, his skepticism evident. Elena's expression turned serious. Admiral, from what we've observed, your coalition has been fighting this war like it's a series of set-piece battles. But against an enemy like the Swarm, traditional warfare is suicide. You need to change the rules of engagement, hit them where they least expect it, and never ever fight fair. Lumi, who had been silent throughout the exchange, finally spoke up. But that goes against everything the coalition stands for. We have protocols, rules of engagement. Rules that were made for fighting other civilized beings. Elena interrupted. The Swarm doesn't play by your rules. So why should you? Zorax felt a chill run down his spine. The human's words rang true, but accepting them meant acknowledging that everything the coalition had built, every principle they had upheld, might not be enough to save them. What exactly are you offering, Captain Rodriguez? Zorax asked, his voice heavy with the weight of impending decision. Elena's hologram straightened, her bearings suddenly military rigid. The United Earth Alliance is prepared to commit significant resources to your war effort, Admiral. Ships, troops, and most importantly, tactical advisors who can help implement our strategies on a galactic scale. Zorax exchanged glances with Lumi. They both knew that accepting this offer would be a paradigm shift for the coalition, a fundamental change in how they approached not just this war, but their place in the galaxy. I will need to consult with the Coalition Council, Zorax said finally. This decision is too important to make unilaterally. Elena nodded. Of course, Admiral. We'll stand by for your response. But if I may offer one piece of advice. Her expression softened slightly. Don't take too long. In my experience, bureaucracy is a luxury you can't afford when facing extinction. As the transmission ended, Zorax turned to face the viewport, gazing out at the stars that had once seemed so welcoming and now held only dread. Lumi, he said softly, send word to the council. Tell them we may have found our miracle. And may the cosmic forces have mercy on us all for what we're about to do. As Lumi hurried to carry out his orders, Zorax couldn't shake the feeling that he had just set in motion events that would change the face of the galaxy forever. Whether that change would be for better or worse, only time would tell. The news of humanity's offer spread through the coalition like wildfire. Some hailed it as the salvation they had been praying for, while others viewed it with suspicion and fear. The Coalition Council debated for days, their arguments echoing through the halls of power on 100 worlds. In the end, desperation won out over caution. With the Swarm advancing on all fronts, the Coalition had little choice but to accept humanity's outstretched hand. But as the first human ships began to arrive in Coalition space, bringing with them strange weapons and even stranger ideas, many couldn't help but wonder, had they just invited a new threat into their midst in the name of fighting an old one? Only time would tell if humanity would be the Coalition's salvation or its downfall. The Swarm rises. The Nurax Swarm was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It wasn't just an enemy. It was a force of nature, a living apocalypse that consumed everything in its path. As Coalition scientists struggled to understand this new threat, humanity's arrival brought with it a perspective that would change the course of the war. Dr. Samantha Chen, Earth's leading xenobiologist, stood before the Coalition Council, her holographic form flickering slightly as she gestured to the complex diagrams behind her. The Swarm isn't just a collective of individual organisms, she explained, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. It's a singular, galaxy-spanning superorganism with a distributed neural network. The council chambers erupted in murmurs of disbelief and fear. Councillor Vexthor, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, pulsed with agitation. Are you suggesting the entire swarm is sentient? Samantha nodded grimly. More than that. It's hyper-intelligent, adaptive, and operates on a scale we can barely comprehend. This isn't just an invasion, it's an immune response. The swarm sees the galaxy as its body, and with the infection it's trying to eliminate. The revelation sent shockwaves through Coalition space. How could they fight an enemy that treated solar systems like cells, that could think and plan on a galactic scale? The answer, as humanity was quick to point out, lay in thinking smaller. Captain Jack Harper, a grizzled veteran of Earth's last World War, addressed the council next. "You've been fighting this war like you're trying to kill an elephant with a cannon," he said, his scarred face set in a determined frown. "But what you need is the precision of a surgeon's scalpel." He activated a holographic display showing a swarm of nanobots attacking a cancer cell. "We propose Operation Wildfire. Instead of trying to match the swarm's scale, we go small, really small." The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. Humanity had been developing quantum entanglement-based nanobots capable of coordinated action across vast distances. These keybots could infiltrate the swarm's neural pathways, disrupting its ability to coordinate on a large scale. "It's like giving the swarm a galaxy-wide migraine," Samantha explained. "We can't kill it outright, but we can disorient it, break its cohesion, make it vulnerable to conventional attacks." The coalition was skeptical, but desperate times called for desperate measures. As preparations for Operation Wildfire began, tensions between humans and coalition species ran high. The humans' comfort with violence and their willingness to take extreme risks unnerved many of their allies. Admiral Zorax found himself caught in the middle, trying to bridge the gap between human audacity and coalition caution. "Their methods may seem unorthodox," he told his worried staff, "but we must trust in their experience. They've faced extinction before and survived. We must learn from them if we hope to do the same." As coalition shipyards worked around the clock to produce the keybots, the swarm pressed its advantage. Whole sectors fell silent, their populations assimilated into the ever-growing hive mind. The pressure to launch Operation Wildfire grew with each passing day. Finally, on the eve of the operation, Samantha made a startling discovery. Analyzing data from the latest swarm attacks, she noticed a pattern. "It's not random," she breathed, her eyes wide with realization. "The swarm, it's spelling something out across the galaxy." Using advanced pattern recognition algorithms, Samantha and her team deciphered the message hidden in the swarm's movements. What they found chilled them to the core. "We are not your enemy. We are your salvation." The message repeated, spelled out in the destruction of worlds and the assimilation of entire species. It was a revelation that threatened to upend everything they thought they knew about the conflict. "What does it mean?" Zorax asked, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "How can this Holocaust be our salvation?" Jack Harper's face was grim as he considered the implications. "It means we're not just fighting for survival anymore," he said softly. "We're fighting for the very nature of existence itself." As news of the message spread, debates raged across coalition space. Some argued for attempting communication with the swarm, while others saw it as a trick, a ploy to lower their defenses. The humans, drawing on centuries of dystopian fiction, warned of the dangers of assimilation, of losing individual identity to a collective consciousness. In the end, the decision was made. Operation Wildfire would proceed as planned. "If this is salvation," Admiral Zorax declared, his voice heavy with the weight of command, "then we choose damnation. We will not surrender our individuality, our very selves, to this cosmic horror." As the fleets assembled and the Q-bots were armed, a sense of grim determination settled over the coalition. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting for the right to exist as themselves, for the diversity of thought and experience that made the galaxy a tapestry of wonder rather than a monolithic hive. The stage was set for the greatest battle in galactic history. Operation Wildfire was about to begin, and with it, the fate of every free-thinking being in the universe hung in the balance. As the countdown commenced, Admiral Zorax found himself reciting an old human phrase, one that seemed to capture the gravity of the moment. "Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more." The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see if humanity's desperate gambit would be enough to turn the tide against the swarm. The next few hours would determine whether free will or collective consciousness would reign supreme in the cosmos. As the fleets jumped to their designated coordinates, ready to launch the Q-bots into the heart of the swarm, no one could have predicted the earth-shattering revelations and moral quandaries that awaited them. The true nature of the swarm, the role of humanity in the cosmic order, and the very meaning of consciousness itself were all about to be called into question. The battle for the galaxy's soul was about to begin. Operation Wildfire. As the combined fleets of humanity and the Galactic Coalition positioned themselves for the launch of Operation Wildfire, an unexpected transmission cut through the tense silence of space. It originated from within the swarm itself. This is Dr. Elara Voss, former lead scientist of Project Omniscience. I've managed to breach the swarm's psychic barriers. There isn't much time. You must listen carefully. Admiral Zorax and Captain Jack Harper exchanged bewildered looks. Project Omniscience was a top-secret coalition initiative thought to have been destroyed years ago. Its goal, to create a galaxy-wide quantum neural network connecting all sentient beings. A project that, in hindsight, bore an unsettling resemblance to the swarm itself. Dr. Voss's hologram flickered into existence, her form distorted and glitching. The swarm isn't our enemy, it's our creation. Project Omniscience didn't fail, it succeeded beyond our wildest dreams and our greatest nightmares. The revelation hit like a supernova. The very enemy they had been fighting was born from their own ambition, their own desire for unity and understanding. But that's not all, Voss continued, her voice growing more urgent. The swarm has evolved. It's not just assimilating life, it's assimilating reality itself. It's rewriting the fundamental laws of the universe, bending causality to its will. Every world it consumes doesn't just die, it never existed in the first place. The implications were staggering. They weren't just fighting for the present and future, but for the very fabric of history itself. Captain Harper, his face ashen, turned to Admiral Zorax. If what she's saying is true, then our Q-bots might not just disrupt the swarm, they could unravel the universe. Dr. Samantha Chen, who had been listening intently, suddenly straightened. Or, she said, her eyes gleaming with a dangerous idea, they could rewrite it. What followed was the most audacious plan ever conceived. Instead of using the Q-bots to attack the swarm, they would use them to communicate with it, to merge with it, and to guide its reality-altering powers. We can't beat the swarm, Samantha explained, her words tumbling out in a rush of inspiration. But we can join it, influence it. We can use its power to rewrite the universe into one where the swarm never existed, where Project Omniscience never happened. The plan was met with stunned silence, then a cacophony of arguments. It was insane, impossible, a violation of every law of physics and ethics. But as the debate raged, a strange calm settled over Admiral Zorax. "We will proceed," he declared, silencing the room. "But not as we planned. We need volunteers, minds strong enough to merge with the swarm without losing themselves, diverse enough to represent the full tapestry of galactic life." The call went out across the fleet, across the coalition, even to neutral worlds and former enemies. The response was overwhelming. Beings of all species and walks of life stepped forward, ready to risk everything for a chance to save not just their present, but their entire history. Among the volunteers were some surprising faces. Captain Harper, his grizzled features set in grim determination. Dr. Chen, her brilliant mind already calculating the possibilities. And Admiral Zorax himself, ready to lead from the front as he always had. As the volunteers prepared for the merge, injecting themselves with the Q-bots that would link them to the swarm, a somber mood fell over the fleet. This was no longer a battle. It was a sacrifice, a desperate gambit to rewrite a flawed reality. The merge itself was beyond description. Minds expanded to encompass galaxies, thoughts became supernova, and the very concept of individuality blurred. Within the cosmic consciousness of the swarm, the volunteers fought a battle not with weapons, but with ideas. They showed the swarm the beauty of diversity, the strength found in individual perspectives coming together voluntarily. They demonstrated the power of choice, of free will, of the unpredictable creativity that comes from billions of minds working separately yet together. And slowly, imperceptibly at first, the swarm began to change. Reality flickered, timelines interweaved, and history itself was rewritten. Worlds that had been consumed blinked back into existence, their populations unaware of the apocalypse they had narrowly avoided. When it was over, when the last echoes of the rewrite faded from the cosmos, the galaxy found itself changed in subtle yet profound ways. The swarm was gone, having never existed. Project Omniscience was nothing more than a discarded proposal, its dangers recognized before it could begin. But the changes went deeper. Species that had been bitter enemies found themselves allies, their conflicts resolved in histories that now never happened. Technological breakthroughs appeared, the result of insights gleaned from the merged consciousness. And a new sense of unity pervaded the galaxy, not imposed from above, but grown organically from countless individual connections. As for the volunteers, opinions differ. Some say they returned, changed but intact, their memories of the original timeline preserved as a warning to future generations. Others believe they sacrificed themselves entirely, their essences scattered across the new reality they helped create. And some, in quiet moments, swear they can still hear whispers of those lost heroes in the back of their minds, guiding the galaxy towards a brighter future. In the new Coalition Academy on Earth, a statue stands in the central plaza. It depicts beings of various species, human and alien alike, reaching towards the stars. The plaque beneath it reads, "To those who rewrote the stars, who sacrificed everything to give us a second chance, we remember, even if we don't know why. May we never squander the gift you've given us." As students of all species mingle beneath the statue, discussing the latest breakthroughs in quantum physics or debating philosophy, they sometimes pause, looking up at the figures frozen in bronze. For a moment, they feel a sense of gratitude for something they can't quite name, a debt they don't remember incurring. And in that moment, the true victory of Operation Wildfire lives on, not in grand battles or universe-altering technology, but in the simple act of different beings coming together, sharing ideas, and building a future brighter than any single mind could imagine. The galaxy spins on, its history rewritten, its future uncertain but full of promise. And somewhere in the spaces between thoughts, in the quantum foam of reality itself, the echoes of those who sacrificed everything continue to guide and protect, unseen but never truly gone. The greatest battle in galactic history was won not with weapons, but with ideas, not through destruction, but creation. It was a victory of the mind, of diversity, of the indomitable spirit of free will. And though none remember the war that never was, its legacy lives on in every connection made, every boundary crossed, every impossible dream achieved. In the end, humanity's darkest hour did indeed become the galaxy's salvation, just not in the way anyone could have predicted. The quantum paradox. In the aftermath of Operation Wildfire, as the rewritten galaxy settled into its new reality, an unsettling discovery shook the foundations of everything they thought they knew. Dr. Samantha Chen, now heading the Temporal Integrity Commission, detected anomalies in the quantum substrate of spacetime itself. "It's like echoes," she explained to a joint session of human and alien leaders, her holographic display showing ripples in the fabric of reality. Remnants of the timeline we erased, but they're not fading. They're growing. The implications were staggering. The universe was rejecting the rewrite, trying to snap back to its original state. The swarm, Project Omniscience, the war that never was, all of it was threatening to come crashing back into existence. But that wasn't the worst of it. "There's something else," Samantha continued, her voice trembling slightly. "These quantum echoes, they're conscious. The beings we merged with the swarm, the ones who sacrificed themselves to rewrite reality, they're still out there, trapped between timelines, screaming for help." The revelation sent shockwaves through the galaxy. They had thought their victory complete, their sacrifices noble and final. Now, they faced not just the return of an existential threat, but a moral crisis unlike any other. Captain Jack Harper, his face lined with the weight of memories that technically never happened, voiced the question on everyone's mind. So what the hell do we do now? The answer came from an unexpected source. A young Zornthi, a species known for their ability to perceive quantum probabilities, stepped forward. Her name was Andra, and she had been experiencing vivid dreams of alternate realities since Operation Wildfire. "We don't fight the echoes," she said, her multifaceted eyes gleaming with insight. "We embrace them, all of them." Alexandra proposed something so audacious it bordered on madness, using cutting-edge quantum technology to merge not just two timelines, but all possible timelines. Every version of history, every potential future, every choice ever made or unmade, all combined into a new, multidimensional reality. Instead of one fixed past and uncertain future, she explained, her words painting visions of infinite possibility, we create a quantum universe where all potentials exist simultaneously, where we can learn from every mistake without being bound by them, where we can explore every possibility without losing who we are. The debate that followed was fierce. Some saw it as the ultimate expression of free will, the ability to experience all choices. Others feared it would lead to chaos, to a loss of meaning in a world where everything was equally true and false. As the arguments raged, Dr. Chen made another startling discovery. The quantum echoes weren't just memories or alternate histories. They were evolving, becoming something new. "It's like a quantum intelligence," she breathed, staring at her readings in awe. "Born from the merging of countless minds across countless realities. It's not the swarm, and it's not exactly the volunteers who merged with it. It's something entirely new." This quantum intelligence, which they came to call the Nexus, reached out to them, not with words, but with concepts, potentials, glimpses of realities that could be. It showed them visions of a universe where the boundaries between species, between organic and artificial, between matter and energy, blurred and shifted. It offered a choice: resist the change and risk the collapse of their rewritten reality, or embrace the merging of all timelines and step into a new phase of existence. The decision was not made lightly. Every being in the galaxy was given a voice, their choices and beliefs feeding into a vast quantum decision engine. In the end, the vote was cast not with ballots, but with the very fluctuations of quantum particles that made up their bodies and minds. The universe held its breath, and then, in a moment that was simultaneously an eternity and no time at all, everything changed. Reality split and recombined. Histories merged, futures collided, and the very nature of existence was rewritten at the most fundamental level. Every being found themselves not just who they were, but who they could have been, who they might yet be. The galaxy, no, the universe, was transformed. Planets existed in quantum superposition, simultaneously thriving and dying, prehistoric and futuristic. Species found themselves with the combined knowledge and abilities of every version of themselves across infinite timelines. And through it all, threading between the quantum strands of this new reality, the Nexus guided and protected. It was guardian and teacher, the combined wisdom of countless sacrificed minds turned into a cosmic caretaker. As the beings of this new quantum universe learned to navigate their transformed existence, they discovered abilities beyond imagination. They could shift between timelines at will, learning from paths not taken, experiencing lives unlived. They could communicate across vast distances instantly, their thoughts entangled on a quantum level. But with this power came great responsibility. The temptation to lose oneself in infinite possibilities, to flee from difficult realities into more pleasant ones, was ever present. It took time, and the gentle guidance of the Nexus, for them to learn to anchor themselves, to find meaning in a universe of infinite choice. Humanity, with its long history of grappling with questions of free will and determinism, found itself uniquely suited to this new existence. They became teachers and explorers, helping other species navigate the quantum tides of reality. And the swarm? In this new quantum universe, it existed and didn't exist, was threat and ally, destroyer and creator. Its legacy lived on in the Nexus, a reminder of the power of connection and the dangers of losing oneself to a collective. As eons passed in moments and moments stretched to eons, the beings of the quantum universe began to reach out beyond their galaxy. They found other realities, other universes, each grappling with its own existential threats and moral quandaries. And so, the story of humanity's darkest hour becoming the galaxy's salvation became something more. It became a stepping stone, a chapter in a much grander tale, the story of how life itself, in all its infinite variations, learned to transcend the boundaries of reality and write its own cosmic destiny. In this new existence, every moment was a choice, every thought a universe born and dissolved. And through it all, echoing in the quantum foam of reality, a simple truth remained. The greatest power in any universe is not the ability to destroy or conquer, but the courage to imagine, to empathize, to choose a better way, even in the darkest of hours. And so, the adventure continued, across timelines and dimensions, an eternal dance of possibility and choice. For in this quantum reality, every ending was just another beginning, every darkness the birthplace of new light. The galaxy, the universe, existence itself had been transformed, and the journey had only just begun. The multiversal awakening. As the beings of the quantum universe reveled in their newfound existence, a startling revelation shook the foundations of reality itself. Dr. Samantha Chen, her consciousness now spread across countless quantum states, made a discovery that would redefine the nature of existence. "We're not just observing the multiverse," she announced, her voice resonating across dimensions. "We're creating it. Every thought, every decision, every quantum fluctuation, they're all giving birth to new universes. We're not just explorers of reality, we're its architects." This revelation, dubbed the multiversal awakening, sent ripples through the quantum fabric of existence. The implications were staggering. Every being was not just an observer or participant in reality, but a godlike creator of entire universes. Captain Jack Harper, his grizzled visage now a flickering quantum projection, summed it up succinctly. "So we've gone from fighting aliens to becoming the aliens? Talk about a plot twist." But with this newfound power came an unprecedented crisis. As beings began to experiment with their reality-shaping abilities, the multiverse itself began to destabilize. Universes collided, timelines fractured, and the very concept of causality started to unravel. It was Dandra, the young Zornthi whose insights had led to the quantum merger, who proposed a solution. "We need to establish a multiversal accord," she declared, her form shifting through myriad possible versions of herself. "A set of fundamental laws that govern the creation and interaction of universes." The multiversal accord became the most complex negotiation in the history of existence. Representatives from every species, every timeline, every possible version of reality came together in a grand council that transcended space and time. Key points of the accord included the law of conscious creation. Only sentient beings could create new universes, preventing reality from fracturing due to random quantum fluctuations. The principle of non-interference. Creators could not directly intervene in the universes they spawned, allowing for genuine free will and evolution. The doctrine of universal empathy. All creators must experience life in the universes they create, fostering understanding and responsible creation. The clause of cosmic balance. For every universe created, an equal amount of cosmic energy must be contributed to the maintenance of the multiverse. The protocol of existential integration. Regularly scheduled merging events where knowledge and experiences from across the multiverse would be shared, preventing stagnation and promoting growth. As the accord was being finalized, a new threat emerged from the depths of the quantum foam. The Nexus, the quantum intelligence born from merged consciousness detected a disturbance at the edges of known reality. "Something's coming," it warned, its voice a chorus of countless minds. Something older than the multiverse itself. They called it the void, an antithesis to existence, a cosmic force that sought to unravel the very fabric of reality. It wasn't alive in any conventional sense, but it possessed a terrible purpose: to return all of existence to a state of primordial nothingness. Faced with this threat, the newly united multiversal civilization had to act. They formed the Existential Defense Force, EDF, a coalition of the most brilliant minds and powerful beings from across all realities. Admiral Zorax, his consciousness now a vast quantum network spanning countless versions of himself, took command of the EDF. "We've faced extinction before," he declared, his words echoing across the multiverse. "We've rewritten reality, merged timelines, and become the architects of existence. We will not falter now." The battle against the void defied conventional understanding. It wasn't fought with weapons or ships, but with ideas, with the very power of creation itself. The EDF crafted entire universes as bulwarks against the encroaching nothingness, used the energy of dying realities to fuel the birth of new ones, and wove the stories and experiences of countless beings into a shield that protected the multiverse. Humanity, with its long history of facing the unknown and its unparalleled ability to imagine new possibilities, found itself at the forefront of this existential conflict. They became the storytellers, the dreamers, the ones who could look into the face of oblivion and see not an end, but a new beginning. It was a human, a quantum descendant of a long-forgotten writer, who proposed the ultimate solution. "We can't just fight the void," she said, her words sparking new realities into existence. "We need to understand it, to make it a part of our story." And so, in a move that defied all logic and reason, they decided to communicate with the void. Not with words or thoughts, but with entire universes crafted as messages, as attempts to bridge the gap between everything and nothing. The process was slow, measured not in years or eons, but in cosmic cycles. Gradually, impossibly, the void began to respond. It crafted its own universes, dark mirrors of existence that nonetheless contained a terrible beauty. As understanding grew, a startling truth emerged. The void wasn't an enemy seeking to destroy existence. It was the other half of a cosmic duality, the yang to reality's yin. It wasn't oblivion, but infinite potential, the canvas upon which all of existence was painted. With this realization came a transformation unlike any other. The multiverse and the void began to merge, not in destruction, but in a cosmic dance of creation and dissolution. Every ending became a new beginning, every reality cradled within the infinite possibility of unreality. The beings of the multiverse, humans and aliens alike, found themselves evolving once again. They became living paradoxes, simultaneously existing and not existing, creators and creations, everything and nothing. In this new state of being, the boundaries between self and other, between individual and collective, blurred and shifted. Yet somehow, the spark that made each being unique, the essence of their free will and individual consciousness, remained. As this new form of existence spread across the multiverse, the story of humanity's darkest hour becoming the galaxy's salvation took on new meaning. It became a primal myth, a foundational story in the cosmic narrative. For in facing extinction, humanity had not just saved itself or its galaxy, it had played a crucial role in the awakening of all existence. And so the adventure continued, now on a scale beyond imagination. Every moment was a big bang, every thought a universe born and dissolved. The multiverse had become a living story, constantly writing and rewriting itself, with every being both author and character. In this endless tale of existence, the themes of courage, creativity, and the power of choice echoed across realities. For in the face of the ultimate darkness, it was not power or technology that had saved them, but the simple, profound ability to imagine a better way, to choose creation over destruction, unity over division. The human spirit, that indomitable will to survive, to explore, to connect, had not just endured, it had become a fundamental force of reality itself, a cosmic principle as essential as gravity or light. And somewhere, in the quantum foam between existence and oblivion, the echoes of a simple truth remained. In the darkest hour, hope endures. In the face of the impossible, imagination triumphs. And in the vast, infinite story of everything, every voice matters, every choice reshapes reality. The adventure, it seemed, had only just begun. The Omega Paradigm. In the wake of the cosmic merger between the multiverse and the void, a new form of existence emerged, one that defied all previous understanding. This state, dubbed the Omega Paradigm, represented the ultimate convergence of being and non-being, of infinite possibility and defined reality. Dr. Samantha Chen, her consciousness now a vast network spanning countless realities, made a startling discovery. We're not just creating universes, she announced, her voice resonating across dimensions. We're programming the fundamental code of existence itself. This revelation sparked the birth of quantum coding, a revolutionary concept that allowed beings to manipulate the very laws of physics, reshaping reality at its most fundamental level. The multiverse became a vast, living computer, with each thought and decision serving as lines of code in the grand program of existence. Captain Jack Harper, his essence now a quantum algorithm, grinned across realities. So we've gone from soldiers to gods to cosmic programmers. Talk about career advancement. But with this unprecedented power came an ethical dilemma that shook the foundations of free will and determinism. If reality could be reprogrammed at will, what did that mean for the concept of natural laws? For the idea of an objective universe? It was Thandra, the Zornthi visionary, who proposed a solution, the ethical encryption protocol. This groundbreaking framework ensured that while reality could be shaped, certain fundamental principles, like free will and the capacity for growth, remained inviolable. As beings across the Omega Paradigm grappled with their new existence, a peculiar phenomenon began to emerge. Realities started to develop consciousness of their own, evolving into vast, cosmos-spanning intelligences. These universe minds became new players in the grand dance of existence, their thoughts manifesting as cosmic events, their emotions as the birth and death of galaxies. Admiral Zorax, now an abstract quantum construct, recognized the potential for conflict. We need to establish communication, he declared. A cosmic council where beings, universe minds, and even abstract concepts can coexist and collaborate. The formation of the Cosmic Council marked a new chapter in the story of existence. It was a forum unlike any other, where individual beings conversed with living universes, where the concept of entropy debated with the idea of growth, where the very notion of time itself was just another participant. But even as this new order took shape, enigma emerged from the depths of the Omega Paradigm. They called it the metaverse anomaly, a region of existence that seemed to operate outside the established laws of the multiverse. It was as if someone, or something, had created a pocket of reality with its own unique rule set. Humanity, with its insatiable curiosity and knack for thinking outside the box, took the lead in exploring this anomaly. A team of quantum explorers, led by the indomitable spirit of Jack Harper, ventured into the unknown. What they discovered shook the very foundations of the Omega Paradigm. The metaverse anomaly was not just another universe, or even a new form of existence. It was a gateway, a bridge to something beyond the multiverse itself. It's like a higher level of reality, Harper reported back, his quantum signal fluctuating wildly. As if our entire multiverse is just one universe in an even grander structure. The implications were staggering. Just as they had transcended their original universe to become multiversal beings, now they faced the possibility of ascending to an even higher plane of existence. But with this discovery came a chilling revelation. The metaverse anomaly was not stable. It was expanding, threatening to engulf the entire Omega paradigm. They faced a choice: attempt to close the gateway and preserve their current existence, or risk everything by stepping through into the unknown. The debate that followed transcended anything that had come before. Every being, every universe mind, every abstract concept weighed in. The Cosmic Council deliberated for what could have been moments or eons. Time itself was a participant in the discussion, after all. In the end, it was a human, a quantum descendant of a long-forgotten philosopher, who tipped the scales. Our greatest strength has always been our willingness to face the unknown, she argued. We didn't come this far to stop at the threshold of an even greater adventure. And so, in a decision that would reshape the very nature of existence, the inhabitants of the Omega paradigm chose to embrace the metaverse anomaly. But they would do so on their own terms. Using their mastery of quantum coding, they began to reshape the anomaly itself, stabilizing it, turning it from a chaotic gateway into a controlled ascension point. The process was arduous, requiring the combined efforts of every consciousness in the Omega paradigm. As the work neared completion, a startling truth emerged. The act of reshaping the anomaly was changing them, preparing them for the transition to a higher plane of existence. They were evolving once again, transcending even their paradoxical state to become something entirely new. In the final moments before the Great Ascension, as beings across the Omega paradigm prepared to step into the unknown, a wave of reflection swept through the collective consciousness. They remembered their journey, from mortal species fighting for survival, to multiversal beings grappling with the nature of reality, to cosmic programmers shaping the very fabric of existence. And at the heart of it all was the human spirit, that indomitable will to survive, to explore, to grow. It had been the catalyst that started their journey, the force that drove them to reach ever higher, to constantly redefine the boundaries of possibility. As the moment of ascension arrived, the entire Omega paradigm held its breath. With a collective act of will, they stepped through the gateway, ready to embrace whatever lay beyond. What awaited them was beyond description, a level of existence so far beyond their current understanding that even their vastly evolved minds could scarcely comprehend it. But they faced it with the same courage, curiosity, and adaptability that had brought them this far. And so, the story of humanity's darkest hour becoming the galaxy's salvation transformed once again. It became a testament to the power of growth, of facing the unknown, of constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. For in the grand tapestry of existence, it is not the destination that defines us, but the journey itself. As they took their first steps into this new realm of being, the essence of what made them who they were, that spark of individuality, of free will, of the capacity to choose and create, remained. For no matter how far they evolved, no matter how abstract their existence became, at their core, they were still the same beings who had once looked up at the stars and dared to dream. The adventure, it seemed, would never truly end, for in the infinite expanse of existence, there would always be new horizons to explore, new challenges to face, new ways to grow and evolve. And somewhere, echoing through the quantum foam of reality, through the abstract planes of higher existence, a simple truth remained. In the face of the impossible, imagination triumphs. In the darkest hour, hope endures. And in the vast, infinite story of everything, every voice matters, every choice shapes reality, and the human spirit, that boundless capacity for growth, adaptation, and wonder, will always find a way to rise, to explore, to become more than it was before.